Hello everyone and welcome to another one of our videos. Today I'm going to be showing you how to replace the taillights on my W140 Mercedes S-Class. The reason I'm doing this is because the center luminous band is what the part is called. It's the part of the taillight that runs underneath the trunk is cracked and it's starting to have water condensation inside it. And in addition to that, I have mold growing in the drainage channels up around here on both the left and the right side taillights. So what I'm going to do is go back to the back of the car, show you how to pull the old taillights out and show you how to replace them. Now, one thing I want to mention is that I tried to do this with OEM lamps, or non-OEM lamps, aftermarket ones in the past, and they did not fit at all. So what I did was search out some OEM ULO lamps for the left and the right because the original Mercedes parts are no longer available. And the center luminous band I was only able to find from Mercedes, so I purchased that directly from a Mercedes dealership. So all of those parts should match. ULO is the original manufacturer for Mercedes lamps for this particular vehicle. So what I'm going to do is go ahead, head back to the back of the car, and start disassembly. Alright, I now have the trunk trim panel removed, the one that goes around the latch right here. All you have to do to remove it is pull out 8 clips. There's 2 on each side and then 4 along the bottom. One thing to note about the clips is that they should look something like this, but 2 of them, out of 8 of them, were separated. So you can see there's the 2 halves of the clip that go together like that. So I'm going to need to replace 2 of these clips, but that is something to watch out for because the T portion of it up here will pop out and you'll think that the clip is out, but in reality you still have this holding the trim panel in. So if your trim panel seems to not be coming out once you pull out all those 8 clips, then that's probably your issue. Take a look and double check in all the holes, make sure you've pulled all the clips out, and all you need to do to pull them out is use a screwdriver or some plastic pry tools. Either one will work. So at this point, it doesn't look like there's too much further disassembly needed to remove the taillights. The center lamp, I believe I can pull out right now just by folding back this inner panel right here a little bit and getting a ratchet in there to pull it out. So that's the first thing I'm going to attempt to replace. And then from there, I'm going to go to the side lights, the left and the right hand side tail lights, and see what's necessary in order to replace those as well. Alright, at this point we have the luminous band removed, and I just wanted to show you exactly why we're replacing this part. You can see it's cracked right here and right here. Hopefully that shows up on camera. And I know you can definitely see all the condensation over here. That's not good. Eventually that's going to eat away at the chrome and make this thing start looking even worse than it already does. So what I'm doing is replacing all the lights in order to remedy this. And at this point I'm going to move on to removing the side lights. Alrighty, so we got the passenger side tail light out of the car. It was quite an easy endeavor actually. The first thing you need to do is pull back the trunk liner. You can see it here from the outside. It's nice to have somebody hold that out of the way, but you can do it without another person as well if need be. And then from there, what you need to do is remove 9 nuts that hold the taillight in. And I'm going to show you on the workbench kind of the way that everything sandwiches together and where all of those nuts are. Once you've removed those 9 nuts, what you're going to need to do is unplug the inner taillight, which is not something that you're replacing. This is something that you're reusing. You're going to unplug it from the connector here. You can see this connector. It's very slick. It's an interesting design. It slides over to lock, and whenever you unlock it, you're just going to push to slide this to unlock position, pull it out, wiggle it out of the way, and you're going to wiggle the inner tail light out. And from there, you should be able to knock the tail light out from the inside, pushing outwards. It's fairly easy to do. The original tail light, depending on whether or not it's actually original to the car and is 20 plus years old or not, might take a little bit of force to push out because the rubber gasketing may be stuck pretty well to the body and the paint, but it will come out once you get all of those 9 nuts off. Make sure you get all 9 out. There is one that is not so apparent that's right here because 8 of them are visible once this trunk panel is peeled back. The 9th one, you have to pull back the same panel that you pulled to remove the center lamp. You have to pull that back to get to that 9th one. So what I'm going to do is take you over to the workbench and kind of show you what we have going on with how all of this goes together, just so you have a better idea of how to take it all apart. As you can see, I have the tail lamp on the workbench right now. This is the outer tail lamp as well as the inner tail lamp, which is this loose portion right here. And that's a great design because it makes it very easy to change the bulbs. All you need to do is pull the trunk liner back and then turn the bulbs counterclockwise to replace them as need be, instead of having to pull the entire taillight out to replace bulbs like you have to do on some cars like my Lexus. So once you've gotten to the point where you've pulled the inner trunk liner out, or at least peeled it back, you're going to have access to all of the nuts that you need to remove the taillight. There's 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 that you're able to access just by peeling back that trunk liner. The 9th one is right here, and this is the one that you access through the liner that you pulled back to remove the center tail lamp. Now, in order to get to this one, it's nice to remove the clip that's in there that holds the trunk liners together and to the inner skin of the body. That's something that you might want to do. I think it can probably be done without that, but that's up to you whenever you go through this install process. So, once you've gotten those nuts off, what you're going to want to do is disconnect this lamp holder from the vehicle harness. That's the connector that I showed you in the previous clip in the video. And then from there, what you're going to want to do is pull all of the bulbs out. Once you've pulled all the bulbs out, and I recommend laying them into the new tail lamp just so you know where they all go, all you're going to need to do is wiggle the inner lamp loose. There's two clips that you're going to need to depress. One up here, you're going to push down, and one here that you're going to push up. You can see it right there. And then you're able to pull this out, and you're going to be able to pull it out and into the trunk. From there, all you need to do is push on the back side of the lamp, and you're going to be able to push it out of the car. And then installation is just going to be the reverse disassembly. As you can see, we have the old taillight out of the vehicle. This is the passenger side lamp, and this is the new one right here. You can see that the new one comes pre-populated with bulbs. A little bit different color scheme as far as which bulbs are in which sockets, but I'm assuming that this is due to design revision and is correct for that particular taillight. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and install the brand new taillight with the new bulb plate and everything. In order to do that, all you really need to do is perform the reverse of disassembly. So you're going to take the tail light without the bulb plate on it, slip it in from the outside of the car, and then slide the bulb plate into place from the inside and fasten all 9 fasteners around it. Again, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And that 9th one is not behind the flaps where you access the bulbs. It's behind the trunk panel, which is right here, the one that you accessed the backside of to remove the center lamp. So I'm going to go ahead and get that installed, and I'm going to go ahead and install the passenger side light as well and the new center lamp, and we're going to see how it looks. Alright, we have the lights in on both sides now as well as in the center. As you can see, everything is nice, shiny, new and fresh, and there's no more condensation anywhere, and everything's nice and clean. One thing that you might notice is that the taillight is no longer cracked, so there's no more condensation in there. Now, I did figure out kind of the reason why this does crack. It's because this trunk panel has a slight curve to it, and these center lamps come flat. So whenever you install it, you'll tighten it up, starting with these center 2 studs right here, and then moving out to the 2 sides. But whenever you do that, you'll notice the tail light will kind of bend and form itself into place. One other thing I wanted to mention is that the new tail lamp will come with a little filler panel like this for the center lamp, and you'll need to pop this out if you have the infrared trunk locks for all of your power door locks. So in my case, I have those. I ended up popping out the filler piece. I'll save it just in case I need it in the future, but it's really a pretty simple job. It's just a bunch of hardware removal and reinstallation. With that, I want to thank you all for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.